Good afternoon to all. I welcome the participants to a session on strategic management. Today, we will discuss about the area of strategy implementation, the behavioral dimensions. As a brief introduction to the strategy implementation, which involves translating the strategic plans into actions, that is, plan of actions, and achieving the desired goals, outcomes. While many organizations they focus on the technical aspects of implementation, it is very much crucial to consider the behavioral dimensions as well. The behavioral dimensions that encompasses the attitudes, behaviors, and actions of the individuals within an organization that impacts the success of strategy implementation. Here are some of the key points to consider regarding the behavioral dimensions of the strategy implementation. First, we'll discuss about the concept of organization culture. The culture of an organization which plays a very significant role in strategy implementation. Organization culture includes the shared values, that is a value system, the norms, that is the level of understanding among the employees in the organizations, the belief systems, and the practices that shapes the behavior of the employees. A supportive and adaptable culture encourages the employee engagement, commitment, and alignment with the strategic goals. With respect to the leadership and communication, effective leadership is essential for successful strategy implementation. Leaders must articulate the strategy clearly, provide the guidance, and motivate the employees towards the desired outcomes. Communication channels should be open, transparent, and foster a culture of collaboration and feedback. With respect to the employee involvement and empowerment, involving employees, that is a participative style of functioning in a strategy implementation process, increases the level of commitment as well as ownership. Empowerment, empowering the employees by delegating the authority and decision making fosters a sense of responsibility, accountability, and driving the performance as well as the innovation, that is bringing changes as per the change in the external environment. And with respect to the empowerment concept, the authorizing the officials with respect to delegation by delegation of power, which will help in taking the responsibility. Responsibility and authority must go side by side. Change management concept involves the strategy implementation often involves organizational changes. Employees may encounter the resistance, fear, or uncertainty during the change process because there is always a resistance for change, accepting the changes, but change is for improvement. Effective change management strategies such as the clear communication, employee engagement, training in order to improve the skill of the employees and support help to navigate these challenges and increases the acceptance of the strategy in the organization. With respect to the performance management, with respect to measurement and incentives, establishing a clear performance metrics and aligning them with strategic objectives, it helps to monitor the progress and identify the areas of improvement. Incentive systems that reward the desired behaviors and outcomes can motivate the employees to align their actions with respect to the strategy and driving the performance. Because this monetary benefits by way of offering incentives for the based on the performance to encourage them. With respect to the concept of training and development, providing adequate training and development opportunity enables the employees to acquire the needed skills, knowledge that is necessary for effective strategy implementation. Training is normally relates to improving the skills of the employees to effectively perform the existing work, whereas development relates to preparing an individual to take the challenges of a higher position and responsibility. It equips them to adapt to the changing circumstances, contributes to the innovation by bringing changes as per the requirement of the marketplace, and overcomes the implementation challenges. With respect to the concept of teamwork and collaboration, strategy implementation often needs cross-functional collaboration as well as teamwork for success. Building strong teams, that is small groups of employees grouped together, and fostering a collaborative environment which enhances the problem solving capability, knowledge sharing by the experts, and collective decision making, leading to better strategy execution. With respect to the organizational structure and systems, the organizational structure and systems should support the strategy implementation process. That is the setup, organization setup, that includes the number of levels in the hierarchical system and structure, reporting system, the line of command, etc. Clear roles and responsibility and reporting the lines ensures a coordination as well as accountability. Efficient processes and supportive systems that enables for smooth execution of the activities of the organization. With respect to the resistance to changes, the resistance to change is a common challenge during strategy implementation process. The employees may feel threatened or uncertain about the changes being implemented. It is important for the leaders to address these in detail, the concerns proactively, listen to the employees' feedback, as well as provide support and resources in order to help them adapting to the changes to be incorporated. With respect to the concept of emotional intelligence, as you know, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage one's emotions and accordingly effectively navigate the interpersonal relationships. Leaders with high emotional intelligence can build the trust, inspire and motivate the employees for dedication and high level of performance, and handle the conflicts that arises from time to time by the system, that is conflict resolution system, and challenges that arises during the strategy implementation. With respect to the alignment and cascading of the goals, strategy implementation needs aligning individual and team goals with the overall strategic objectives of the organization. Clear communication and cascading of the goals ensures that the employees understand how their work contributes to the broader strategy and fosters a sense of purpose and direction in which the organization must move ahead. Learning and continuous improvement refers to, with respect to strategy implementation, it is an iterative process that requires learning from experiences and making adjustments as and when needed. Organizations that encourage a culture of learning and continuous improvement can adapt quickly to the changing market conditions, identify the opportunities that is available, that is coming from time to time in the external marketplace, for optimization and sustain the long-term success of the organization. With respect to the resilience and adaptability, strategy implementation often encounters unforeseen challenges and disruptions. Developing resilience and adaptability at both the individual level as well as the organizational level, which allows for agility in responding to the changing circumstances, overcoming the obstacles, and staying focused on the strategic goals. With respect to the ethical behavior and corporate social responsibility, strategy implementation should incorporate the ethical behavior, that is the way organizations think, plan, and conduct the activities, and consideration for the corporate social responsibility, that is the company's contribution for the betterment, welfare of the society and community at large, in the interest of all the stakeholders. Employees should understand the ethical standards expected of them and how their actions align with the organization's values, ensuring that the strategy implementation is carried out in a socially as well as environmentally responsible manner. With respect to the celebration of the success, that is recognizing and celebrating the milestones, the achievements of the organization that has incurred, and successes during the strategy implementation, which reinforces positive behaviors among the employees, boosts the morale, and fosters a sense of accomplishment. It also motivates the employees to sustain their efforts and commitment towards the strategy. By addressing these behavioral dimensions, organizations can create an environment that supports the effective implementation of their strategic plans, maximizes the employee engagement and alignment, and increases the likelihood of achieving the desired outcomes that is expected or planned. By considering these behavioral dimensions in the strategy implementation, organizations can enhance the employee involvement, employee participation, alignment, and commitment, leading to more successful results and increase organizational performance. Strategic change refers to the process of implementing significant shifts in the organizational strategy to adapt to the internal or external factors of the environment. Here are some of the key points to consider when discussing the strategic changes. First is the need for change. Identify the reasons or triggers that necessitate the strategic changes that is inevitable, such as the market dynamics, because the marketplace is continuously changing, becoming turbulent and uncertain. The competitive pressure, because of the presence of number of market players in the industry, the technological advancements, because of the concept of globalization, continuous improvement in the technology front taking place in the manufacturing industries, changes in the customer preferences, because the taste, preference, and choice of the customer is changing from time to time because of the change in the lifestyle, living standard, income level, etc., which intensifies the internal inefficiencies. With respect to the vision and objectives, define a clear vision and set of objectives for the strategic change initiative. This includes determining where the organization wants to go, that is in terms of the key strategic questions. So what should be its destination and what its aim to achieve through the changes? That is all the key answer to the key questions. With respect to the stakeholders involvement, involve the key stakeholders of the organization, which includes the employees, the customers, the vendors, those who are supplying the raw material, the shareholders or the stockholders who purchase company share, the insurance organizations, the government, the consultants who advise, as well as the general, the stakeholders in the strategic changing process. To engage them early on, communicate the rationale for the changes and address the concerns of the stakeholders to gain their support and as well as commitment towards organization. With respect to the strategic analysis, to conduct a thorough analysis of the internal as well as the external environment factors to understand the organization's strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, that is, in short, the SWOT factors. This analysis helps to identify the areas that needs to change, to bring a change, and potential risks that is involved and the challenges that is to be faced. Planning and implementation process involves develop a comprehensive strategic plan that outlines the steps to be followed in sequence, the timeline, that is the deadline for achieving, and resources that is needed, all types of resources, whether you talk about manpower, financial resource, then management capability, the technology, the information resource, the material resource, etc., in order to implement the changes. Then allocate the responsibilities, establish the milestones to be achieved, and monitor closely the progress throughout the implementation phase. With respect to the concept of change management, implement the effective change management practices in order to support the employees and also to minimize their resistance. This involves providing the required training in order to improve their skills through the training need analysis and training calendar for the whole year, department-wise and employee-wise. Clear communication must be two-way effective communication, which will help in improving the things, and ongoing support to help the individuals and teams adapt to the new strategic decisions. With respect to the innovation and agility, emphasize innovation and agility as a part of the strategic change process. Encourage experimentation. Promote a culture of continuous improvement. That in Japanese term it is called kaizen. That is continuous process of improvement to be carried out in the workplace, in the organization by each and every individual, which will help in improving the overall, and be willing to adapt the strategies as circumstances evolve. With respect to the performance management, needed to set the key performance indicators, that is KPIs, in order to closely monitor the effectiveness of the strategic changes. Regularly measure and evaluate the progress that has taken place in the organization, that is in department or section wise or individual person wise, making the adjustments based on the periodic review as needed to ensure the alignment with the desired outcomes. With respect to the concept of communication and transparency, maintain open and transparent communication channels throughout the strategic change process. Keep the stakeholders, all the stakeholders of the organization, those who are connected directly or indirectly for their business interest, informed about the progress, challenges, and successes, and address any concern or questions promptly to make it clear. With respect to the continuous learning process, foster a learning mindset within the organization to promote ongoing growth and development. Encourage knowledge sharing, capture lessons learned from the strategic change initiatives that is taken by the organization and by the individuals, and apply those insights to the future endeavors. With respect to the leadership and vision, strong leadership is crucial in driving the strategic changes. Leaders should provide a compelling vision, that is the regarding the future of the organization and in which direction it should move. Inspire others for a higher level of performance and lead by examples as a role model for others. They must be champions of the change and actively support and promote it throughout the organization. With respect to the organization culture, assess and address the organization culture in order to ensure it aligns with the desired strategic changes. Culture can significantly impact the success or the failure of change initiatives. Foster a culture that embraces the innovation through bringing changes, improvements, continuous basis based on the valuable feedback given by the stakeholders, experts in the area, through collaboration and also adaptability. With respect to the resource allocation, allocate the necessary resources that is required, including the financial resource, human resource, technological resource, information as a source of resource, material resource, in order to support the strategic changes. Adequate resource allocation is essential to enable the implementation as well as sustain the change efforts. With respect to the risk management, identify the potential risks that is involved and develop the risk management strategies in order to mitigate them, to counter it, and to manage effectively. anticipate the obstacles, and develop the contingency plans in order to address the unexpected challenges that may arise during the implementation of the strategic change. With respect to the concept of collaboration and teamwork, foster collaboration and teamwork, because that will ultimately help in improving the things and process with the leading by the efficient team leaders across the departments, sections, and functional areas. Encourage the cross-functional communication, collaboration, as well as cooperation in order to facilitate the successful implementation of the strategic change. With respect to the customer-centric approach, consider the needs and expectations of the consumers, those who going to buy the products and avail the services of the organizations throughout the strategic change process. Understand their preferences, their taste, their choices, and gather the relevant feedback online and offline, and adapt the organization's strategy in order to improve the service level and also the evolving demands. Customers are nowadays mostly demanding in nature, which was not there with the same customer, maybe 5 years back down the line. Because of the environment, because of the competition and options, the demand level is increased by the customers. With respect to the competitive analysis, conduct a thorough analysis of the competitive landscape to identify the emerging trends, competitive advantages, that is the strength areas of the organizations can be encased to get benefit and also to win the mind of the target customers, and the potential threats, how to encounter, how to manage effectively. Adjust the strategic change initiatives to capitalize on the market opportunities that is coming from time to time in the external marketplace and maintain a competitive edge. With respect to the concept of flexibility and adaptability, build flexibility in workplace that can adjust to the changes, and adaptability into the strategic change plan. The ability to adjust and pivot in response to the changing circumstances that is prevailing and that is coming from time to time is very much essential in a dynamic business environment. With respect to the learning from the failures, acknowledge that not all the strategic changes will be successful. Embrace the failures as the learning opportunities. And as you know, the failure are the pillar of success, and encourage a culture that promotes experimentation. The process of learning, bringing a change and improvement as a process of continuous improvement in the organization. With respect to the concept of sustainability and long-term focus, consider the long-term sustainability and viability of the strategic changes. Ensure that the change initiatives will align with the organization's long-term goals and contribute to its overall success and growth, because that can be embedded, that can be incorporated in the overall goal of the organization. Each organization's strategic change journey is different and will be unique, and it's essential to tailor the approach to the specific context and the challenges that is being faced in the external environment from time to time. Strategic change is a complex in nature and a dynamic process that needs careful planning, execution, and adaptation. These points will serve as a starting guide, but the specific approach may vary based on the organizational context, industry, type of industry, type of product, and the market situation and the objectives that is set by the company management. Matching organization structure to strategy relates to, as per the size and objective of the organizations, may pursue several strategies simultaneously, especially in case of multi-product, multi-business organizations. Each organization has its own value system as well as philosophies. Each strategy is based on certain key success factors, based on which the organization structure is designed, which is linked to the critical tasks, the functions, and the degree of authority to be delegated to each of the units. That is a process of decentralization for empowerment approach, for speedier decision making, and to avoid the process of delay in taking actions. Keeping in view the cost and benefits of the centralization and decentralization and inter-unit coordination in the entire organization. With respect to the strategy critical activity, there are some activities critical to the success of the strategies, while some of the activities are routine in nature, like the maintenance work and the support activities like accounting, managing the cash flow, then maintaining the stock levels, that is inventory, in a scientific manner, computerized process, storekeeping, then the method and adapted for maintaining the store and stock of various items of the organization, and the training that is based on the training need analysis and the training calendar that is prepared for the entire financial year, the public relations, that is as a part of the promotion and communication strategy of the organization, and market research to help to introduce new product or new services, which is a continuous process of growth and expansion. But some critical tasks to be carried out by like taking cost cutting measures, austerity measures, in order to be a cost leader in the industry with a thin margin of profit in the industry. That decision is very much important, taken at the corporate head office. For an organization opting for differentiation strategy, it is very much essential to have a distinct in its design, in its performance, in its look, that is aesthetic sense, with a focus on quality as well as workmanship. The activities are essential to be competitive and critical to the strategy. The key questions here are the functions required for the success of the strategy and the areas of poor performance may lead to failure of the strategy to be identified. After identification of the appropriate strategy group, key activities of routine and support nature into the organizational units. With respect to the degree of authority or decentralization, after grouping the activities and units formation, question comes how to handle the degree or the decision making authority to be delegated for various units. That is for faster decision making, bringing efficiency and making it speedier process. If the organization is involved in different types of business, like for the multi-product, multi-business organizations with various activities, then two alternate approaches can be adopted, like to centralize decision-making authority at the corporate level, delegating the operative decisions only to the unit managers for the various business units or the various manufacturing units of the organizations, or to substantially decentralize the strategic decisions to the various strategic business units and their managers with the support of the corporate office. The level of autonomy to be given that depends on the various factors, the merits and demerits of both to be reviewed, to taken into account the perception of the corporate management about the decision making of the various business units and the managers in the overall strategy of the organization. With respect to providing coordination, the coordination of different units of organization is by positioning the various activities in the hierarchy of authority. The senior managers have higher authority to coordinate the units under their supervision. As for example, the general managers are central to the coordination for their position of authority, besides coordinating the strategic efforts through conducting informal meetings time to time to assess the situation and to improve upon. Standing committees being formed, special task force is formed for a specific purpose and specific time period, like the quality circles, etc. And quarterly strategic planning is made through review meetings and also the budgeting decisions for allocation of the resources, financial resources. While formulating the strategic plan, the general managers can seek support from others in the planning process right from the inception. With respect to the leadership concept, the productivity can be boosted without additional finance and technology with good leadership qualities, that is efficient leadership of functional managers. Hence, it is essential to find the methods of improving the leadership potential for those holding the responsible positions, that is heading the various functional departments of the organization. Self-improvement and monitoring in continuous basis is a role model example for others in the organizations to watch. Effective strategic management is to ensure that the leadership ensures to integrate all the functions of the management into a culture of excellence. That is with respect to all functional departments. Effective strategic management finds out the leadership functions developed at every level of the organizations in order to enable strategic managers to translate these strategic plans into action or into reality. With respect to the concept of leadership, it is one of the most observed phenomena, and leadership is a complex process, and the ability to get best out of the people, that is employees and stakeholders, and inspire the followers by exercise decisive influence over the others. It is the capacity to frame plans which will succeed and to persuade others to carry out in spite of the difficulties, constraints that exist with the individuals, with the organizations. It relates to the quality of resources and the environment in which the plan is to be implemented by persuading others to do what is expected in spite of the difficulties and discouragement. It is for doing the right things and in the right direction, right time. If you see the functions of leadership, the leader need to develop every individual employees in the organization, that is in the form of a team, to put their best efforts, best of their capacity, and integrate the needs related to accomplishing the task. Here the graphical representation says there is integration between these three aspects. First is the needs to task, the needs to individual, as well as the need of the group. If you see the functions of leadership, the functions for needs of task relates to defining the task, specifically making the plan to proceed further, allocating the work among the employees and allocating the resources, controlling the quality and tempo of the work, as well as checking the performance against the plan to find out the gap and plan to close the gap in the subsequent year. Functions for needs of the individuals, like attending to personal problems of the individual employees, praising of the individuals for their performance, high level of performance and contribution to the organization, knowing individuals personally and addressing by name, recognizing and using the individual abilities in the workplace as a supervisor or reporting or reviewing officer, training individuals which is needed for improving the skill levels. With respect to the functions of needs of the group, it relates to setting the standards, the benchmark, and maintaining the discipline among the group members, building the team spirit, encouraging, motivating, as well as giving a sense of purpose, appointing the sub-leaders, ensuring communication within the group, that is two-way effective communication, both verbal and non-verbal mode, training the group members. The functions related to the needs are integrated into the following steps. First, initiating the work by allocating the task and resources, and then planning to achieve the task by using the available resources in terms of internal factors, that is by best use of the organization structure, culture, support, and the available resources. Controlling by monitoring the work and modifying the plan, and then supporting by encouragement, motivation, and providing the training needed. Evaluating the performance after implementation and thereby finding the gap that exists. With respect to leadership style, the leadership style that varies from autocratic to democratic depending on the task, depending on the changing situation and changing group. The way an effective leader has to function as a reflection consciously adopts a specific style which comes spontaneously. In practical terms, a change in style is an intuitive variation by persuasion and compulsion. The leaders inspire the people, that is the employees, to do what they are expected to do. Indians try and live up to the standards of the leader, and hence leaders, they show the example, role model example, what they expect people to do, people to follow as the secret of leading people. Persuasion is necessary to motivate the people. Organization culture creates the environment for the people to work. That is a conducive and supportive environment to increase the productivity. Leadership and in context to Indian environment, organizations reflect the diversity of the Indian people who come from the different parts with the different languages, different culture, traditions, background, with different religion and ethnic origins. Leaders to manage such groups need to be broad by convictions and actions, will be able to command respect as well as loyalty. The requirements to succeed the goal are like a leader should have knowledge of all the religions in India and respect all faiths. A leader should have an understanding of the long history and cultural ethos of India. With respect to the attributes of successful leadership, a leader should have ambition, what to achieve. He has to willingness to work hard and long hours taking the risk, and also should have enterprising and should be in open-mindedness to accept and receive the feedback, suggestions given by the stakeholders in the business or the industry, and should have the imagination based on which can proceed further. Ability to rosy picture, ability to find opportunities, administer efficiently and adapt the changes quickly, and should have the curiosity, that is eagerness to know more, and understanding, should have a understanding of others, that is the especially the empathetic approach, understanding others problems. Enthusiasm, and should have capacity to speak lucidly to others while addressing. Leadership and analytical ability must be go in depth to find out the root cause of the problems, etc. Ability to take decisions and meet the unpleasant situations intelligently. Dimensions of leadership styles includes developing appropriate leadership is crucial for implementation of the strategy, as leaders help an organizations to cope up with the changes. Appropriate leadership can mobilize the people to develop effective structure and systems for success of the strategy. Leadership is a key to develop and maintain the right culture and right climate for improving the productivity in the organization. Leadership styles are manifested through orientations like risk-taking ability, like optimization with respect to the cost, flexibility, that is capable of accommodating the changes or fluctuations that is taking place in the marketplace, with respect to the participation, that is active involvement and coercion, etc. Different leadership styles have good fit with different environments. The strategy decides the product market scope, the organization's environment, as well as the leadership style that is needed. Key organization goals proposes for superior performance. The orientation of the top management for risk taking. The orientation is risk aversive, or the orientation is highly optimization, that is strongly participative approach, or the orientation towards moderate risk and non-participative. If you see this table, it clearly depicts about the types of leadership styles to relate to the environment. If you see the leadership style, entrepreneurship style, the risk-taking level is high. Where with respect to optimization, it is moderate to low. With respect to flexibility, again, it is moderate to high. Participation, it is moderate to low, and coercion is variable. And with respect to neo-scientific leadership style, risk-taking is variable, optimization level is high, flexibility is moderate to low, participation is high, and coercion is moderate to low. With respect to quasi-scientific leadership style, the risk-taking level is variable, optimization level is high, flexibility level is moderate to low, participation is again moderate to low, whereas coercion is moderate to high. With respect to modeling through as a leadership style, the risk-taking level is moderate to low, optimization level is low, flexibility level is moderate to high, participation level is moderate to low, coercion is moderate to high. With respect to conservative style of leadership, risk-taking is low, optimization is moderate to low, flexibility level is moderate to low, participation level is moderate to low, and coercion is variable. With respect to democratic style of leadership style, risk-taking is moderate to low, optimization is moderate to low, flexibility moderate to high, and participation level is high, and coercion is variable. With respect to the middle of the road as a leadership style, risk-taking is moderate, optimization is moderate, flexibility is moderate, participation is moderate to low, and coercion is moderate to low. If you see the table which relates to environment style fit, environment is, if it is environment is turbulent, then style is high entrepreneurship approach, and in turbulent situation, medium level is neo-scientific, and middle of the road, low is conservative. With respect to the hostility environment, the level is, if level is high, then entrepreneurial, and the medium range, it is neo-scientific, low is neo-scientific or conservative. With respect to diversity style, in high, entrepreneur or neo-scientific, in medium, middle of the road, low is conservative. And in restrictiveness environment, high level is neo-scientific or entrepreneur, medium is entrepreneur or conservatives. And in technological complexity, level is high, entrepreneur, neo-scientific, and in medium it is quasi-scientific, and low it is democratic. Above provides a good idea about the orientation and style of leadership to respond effectively to the environmental demands. Further, there is also need for leadership skills that is needed for the transformation of the organization, an attribute of a transitional leader taking organization to a dominant position. With respect to managing the changes in the different phases is given as below. First is recognizing the need for revitalization, and the second, creating a new vision that is for the futuristic plan, and institutionalizing the change, that is the process of implementing and executing the changes. In the first phase, leadership task is to sense the changes. In the second phase, need for communication skills to create a vision for future and excites people to move with interpersonal skills and creativity to mobilize the commitment. In the third phase of transformation process, leaders should have the ability to understand and manage powerful conflicting forces in the people. Negative emotions need to be transferred into positive, developing the new way of working, styles, culture, and norms. Organizations cope up with the several ways by changing the leadership style or affecting the transformation in institutions. There is a need to bring gradual changes in the leadership style and skills in order to avoid the mismatches in leadership style in the change environment. Hence, a blueprint to assess the style and skill of leadership needed in future. Hence, the plan for recruitment, grooming, talent, and HRD is based on the strategy. With respect to corporate culture, each organization has its own way of dealing problems and its own structure, but its culture depends on the behavioral employees and leadership, their commitment towards the organization. The corporate culture also depends on the strategy, values, and belief system accepted and practiced in the organizations. There are different ways to handle the employees as below. One is first is downwards, that is effective and cohesive group motivated to achieve the goals. Lateral, that winning the support and cooperation of the colleagues, having functional relationship with the group. And the third approach is the purposeful and constructive relation with higher authority under whom a leader is functioning. With respect to the human nature, to develop the leadership potential, it is useful to focus attention on the concept of practical value learning. A leader should understand and take care of the people with respect to time, attention, and interest. Communication skills of expression and listening play an important role in ability. The skill of expression through verbal as well as non-verbal way with sincerity. The skills of listening includes understanding the others well, includes the process of hearing with attention and ability to listen with the sympathy to create trust in the team. Effective communication includes 50% of listening, 25% speaking, 15% reading, and 10% writing. Handling the people working for a leader. Self-control includes the control and inspire team through the discipline as a source of happiness. Source of failure includes a good leader gives credit for success of employees and takes responsibility for the failure. Setting targets includes the useful to set the targets by individuals to achieve them. Corrective measures that leaders corrects the people by saying this is not expected from a person of your ability. We and not me, a good leader always projects as a part of the team. Accessibility refers to in terms of time and place in meeting the team members. Care to be taken to uphold the dignity of the individuals. And recognition relates to leaders with interpersonal and motivational skills to maintain the excellence in the organizations. With respect to the ethics and values, it is the basis for strong corporate culture and sustainability of the success of organization. Every organization has its own code of ethics and standards with respect to honesty, fairness, acquiring using the outside information, using organization assets. Value statements includes value customers, commitment towards business practices, duty towards stakeholders, following the environmental protection norms. In concluding, the discussion is mainly based on the different aspects of the behavioral issues to implement a strategy. The focus is on the concept of leadership and role of leaders to handle the people. Effective strategic management is based on integration of the management functions into culture of excellence as a challenge for leadership. The leadership style can change as per the situation. The role and responsibility of a leader is crucial to maintain the corporate culture of an organization. Leader can play the role model example to guide the employees based on the sound values and ethical principles to build strong corporate culture. Behavioral dimensions in leadership includes the importance of leadership with respect to the organization culture and also the employee engagement, communication and information sharing with respect to change management, with respect to performance management and organization learning, collaboration and teamwork, monitoring and evaluation. In summary, the behavioral dimensions in strategy implementation emphasizes the importance of leadership, organization culture, employee engagement, communication, change management, performance management, learning collaboration, monitoring and evaluation. By considering effectively and managing the dimensions, organizations can enhance their chances of successful implementation strategy. Thank you for your patient listening.